Hey everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to show you how you can set Raid up to farm gear for you without having to sit here and farm gear and without having to use the multi-battles in Raid. Maybe you've used them all, or you don't want to use them, or you don't have Raid Pass, so you don't get very many. Whatever it is, this gives you as many multi-battles as your energy can afford. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step how to set this up. It's really easy to do. It's going to only take a couple of minutes and you'll be rolling. So click the link below in the pinned comment or the description. It's going to download BlueStacks. Once it's downloaded, you'll see Raid in your BlueStacks screen. Just click it. It'll install Raid. It'll launch Raid. Log into your Raid account. And once you're there, you'll be ready to go. So before we get started, if you don't like this overlay that BlueStacks puts on their interface, Control-Shift-F6 gets rid of it, okay? I'm personally not a big fan of it. So the first thing we're going to do is once you're in here, we're going to go and do our dungeons. Pick any dungeon you want. It doesn't really matter. One that has the quickest time, because we're going to set it up for one dungeon, but it's going to work in every dungeon. So I'll just go into Dragon, and just for the sake of the argument, I'll go to Dragon 1. I'm going to do this run, so you can go ahead and start a run too. I'm going to cut to the end of this run and show you how to set this up. So if you need to pause until your run is over and then pick back up, go ahead and do that now. We'll be right back. Okay, run's over. Now what we're going to do again, very quick and easy. Be ready to follow this. Over here you'll see we've got Open Macro Manager in your little toolbar. It's a little circle with a play button in it. Or you can just hit Control-Shift-7. It's going to open up this window. From here, you're going to click Record New Macro. As soon as you click it, you're going to come down here and click Replay. And then up here in the top, you're just going to hit Stop. Now the macro is created, so while that next run goes, we can just rename this Dungeons. We'll be fine. And then we're going to go into our settings for it. And in the repeat execution, you're going to want to go infinitely until stopped, unless you wanted to run it for a certain amount of time or something. Generally, infinitely until stopped is the way to go. And what you'll do is you'll just recharge a bunch of energy before you start running this macro, okay? So infinitely until stopped, hit save, and then you can close this window. Now we're back here, that other run's over. When you're ready to run this, what you'll do is you'll start whatever dungeon you want to run. When that first run's over, you'll come in here to your macro manager and you'll just hit play. And it's going to start running this for you. And what it's doing is it's just clicking where that replay button is over and over. Now you can move this out of the way. You can minimize it. You can shrink it down and put it in the bottom corner of your screen if you want to keep an eye on what's going on. Now it's doing its own thing and you can go do other things, because even though it's an auto clicker, it's not tying up your mouse. So you can still use your computer for the rest of it. The auto clicker is confined to the BlueStacks window. So you see a run just ended and it just started another run automatically. And then when you're ready for it to be done, you just hit stop and it'll run until you stop it or until you're out of energy, okay? So that's that. Now you're set up and it'll work. Again, any dungeon that you want to run, this will work for it. So that's why we didn't just name it Dragon, and we don't have to do one for every one. It just works for dungeons. A quick little bonus tip too for this, a quick way to roll gear. You can speed up your gear rolling. So if we come in here, we all know gear rolling is super slow, right? If we come in here, down at the bottom of your toolbar, you've got this little thing called Eco Mode. So if we click it and turn it on, I think by default it's going to have it at 5 frames. I like to up it to around 11 or something along those lines, and then it'll stay there by default. So if we roll, let's roll this to 4 real quick, just to see what normal gear rolling looks like, right? We're all very familiar with this. Then if you turn on Eco Mode, which again, you can come over here and click the toggle, or Control-Shift-F turns on Eco Mode. Now, let's run it up to 16. Now this will look familiar for anybody that's used Rivatuner or maybe RSL Helper or something. Now it's rolling, it's getting out a lot more rolls a lot quicker, right? So it's going to shoot its way up a lot faster. And again, you can just toggle this on every time you're going to roll a piece of gear. So maybe as you're sifting through all that new gear you farmed overnight, this is a fast way to roll it to see if it's worth keeping and get it out. You're still at the mercy of RNG, whether or not the gear is actually going to roll well for you, and how much silver you're going to have to burn to get those levels, but it's going through the rolls a lot quicker. So that's another cool little thing about BlueStacks, is that you can turn that off and on, and then when you're done, you just turn Eco Mode back off, and the game's back to running smoothly. So that's that. Easy to set up and very effective. The big thing is just to make sure that you charge up as much energy as you want to use overnight before you start your macro. And that's it. I hope this helps you guys farm some gear and make use of your time AFK from Raid, so that you can do other things when you're actually sitting here and playing. So that's it. Hope it helped. Let me know if you have any questions below. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you later.